Hi guys, I'm cooking today and I figured I would bring you along. I have two different cuts of steak to cook. It's very easy. I don't do anything really that's crazy. My favorite steak I'm cooking today, and that is flank steak. And so for 4 ounces, it's 180 calories, 9 grams of fat, 0 carbs, of course, and 24 grams of protein. And then the other one is going to be sweet bourbon steak tips. And this is actually 4 ounces, 160 calories, no carbs, and 24 protein again. Both pans are going to be having some butter added to them. So let me grab out a knife so I can cut the butter in half. This is about 3/4 of a stick. And every time I cook steak, and I have been cooking the best steak, I shall say, for many, many, many years. And you'll hear people, Bobby Flay, all these people who are supposed to be top chefs, they'll always tell you, only turn it once. Well, that's hogwash. So I'm just going to tell you, it's hogwash. I've been cooking, I'm 47. For almost 30 years, I have been on my own. And I have been making steak. And when I first met my husband loves to cook. He said the same thing to me. Don't you flip that more than the times that you need to, and yada, yada, yada. But he will hands down say that my steak is the best. It is the softest, moistest, tender. It is just flavorful. He loves my steak. He raves and raves and raves about it, and I turn it multiple times. So for these steaks, here's what I'm going to use. I am going to use adobo. I am going to use some of the, let me just find it all. Let's see, garlic, granulated garlic. I'm going to use this minced onion. I'm going to use everything but the bagel seasoning. And let me just see. Sometimes I will use the chili lime seasoning. So I'll throw that in there as well. And let me see if there's anything else. All right, I'll say that that is it. Yep, that's about it. So that's what I'm going to put on both the steaks. The small pan, of course, I'll put the smaller steak, and the larger pan, I'll put the larger steak. Let me just grab my fork. Oh, I gotta get it. Oh, guys, I have to tell you, I am so grateful for the silence in the background. Yesterday, as you guys, if you went onto my YouTube video, the kids were off yesterday because it was an election day here. We voted for our mayor and city councilors and things of that nature. The current mayor is not seeking re-election, and so we had to get a new mayor. Sorry, I gotta grab some paper towel. The two candidates were both very good candidates, one of which was a classmate of mine, and he ended up winning. So I can't be too upset. Wow, this is going to be a great... Okay, so it is steak tips where it's in different, you know, it's cut apart. It's not like one piece like the flank steak is going to be. So I'm going to continue to get these into the pan. Let's get the flank steak out. Now they're really, really, really juicy. I don't want to say bloody because that's like gross. That grosses me out. So flank steaks are usually rolled, and so this is what they'll look like. They have a lot of wonderful markings on them. Let me get rid of all this packaging. Hold on. course, some went on the floor, so let me grab that. See, it doesn't always look rosy like some YouTubers. You know, I keep it real. I do what I can do, and that's it. No editing here. I can't do it. All right. So let me grab some more paper towel. And okay. So these steaks are in the pan. They look wonderful. I can tell they're going to be very tender. Gosh, this stuff's splashed all over. Okay. So anyway, so yesterday we had the election. My kids were home and I ended up having 8 children. I had my 5, my niece, which is now mine. And I had the little boy that I babysit before and after school. His mom had a teacher training. And I had the little boy next door. And I had the girl across the street who's friends with my 11-year-old. So they were all here for most of the day. And so I'm exhausted. So home today is where I want to be. I definitely am not complaining about the silence. I'm also not complaining about being able to just come and go as I please. But I am trying to get back on track with eating. It definitely is not going all that great. I feel like I have a bottomless pit, which leads me to think that it's almost time for my cycle, and that's why my body is responding this way. But I don't know. We'll see, I guess. So, yeah, it's been a hot minute of craziness. All right, so it's all just cooking away. There's not much I do except continue to flip it over and over. I never let one side get like burnt or anything. I always continue flipping it. I'm also in a little while going to make myself a folio cheese wrap. I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. Maybe I'm just going to put some chicken lunch meat that I have. I may put some steak with some sriracha sauce or cheese. I'm not sure yet. But you have to put these at room temperature before you can peel them out of here because they have to be pliable. And when they're cold, they're not pliable. So I'm going to be continuing to stir this. I was going to make my husband crock slaw today, but I don't have the bacon that I usually use for him. I don't want to use up my pound of bacon that I have in the refrigerator from Trader Joe's because that's really expensive just for crock slaw. So I will wait. All right, I'll be back with the rest. All right, the smaller of the steak tips. This is bourbon flavor is done. Here's what it looks like. I flipped it like 6 or 7 times. The main thing I do with all of my steak, pretty much all the meat that I fry in a pan, but pretty much I leave it sit on the cutting board. Let me show you guys down here. So I leave it sit on the cutting board to rest about maybe 5 minutes, maybe even 10. This big baby here is still cooking away. It's low and slow around here. I just even lowered it a little bit more. Let me get a knife. Let's see. This is a nice knife. So it has not been resting too long, but I'm very curious to see what the inside looks like. Wow. All right, let me lower you guys down here so you can see. Okay. Let me move this one out of your way. This is the one I'm slicing. Okay, you ready for this? Wow. Look at the inside of this. That is delicious. I'm gonna try some. Ooh, I can totally taste the bourbon. I'm gonna hang you guys up again. Oh, that's really good. Wow. Wow, you guys. I've never had a flavor like this. The bourbon and not have carbs in it. So I'm very much pleasantly surprised at how good that looks. All right. So that flank steak is going to take probably another 15 minutes, I'm going to say, of me doing it very slow and just continuing to flip-flop it. I'll be back when it's done. Okay, so I'm back and I let my steak rest. It's actually been resting for probably about a half an hour because I got distracted. Let's see, let's cut into this baby. This is the flank steak, which is my favorite steak to cook. This is how it came out. This is the inside. I like it where there's a little bit more pink, but this is still okay. I'm going to cut it up, and I'll probably have this on a cheese folio as like a, you know, we can put some, I can make actually steak fajitas out of this. Let's see, here's a close-up piece. That looks good. So let's try it. That'll be very good. I have to say the bourbon one I liked better. But this is still good. Thanks for watching. All right, so I'm not going to end the video there. I think I'll give you guys a bonus. I'm running out of gloves. I wear gloves when I clean. I got a lot of cleaning to do in here, and I have one black glove and one blue glove. And that's what we got today. We get what we get and we don't get upset. So I just did some meal prep, the cooking of the steak, and showed you how I did the steak. I figured I would just chat a little bit. I'm having kind of a weird day. I don't know if it's because I had such a long day yesterday. Yesterday, as I mentioned, let me take these off. All right. Yesterday, as I mentioned, I had 8 kids all day because of the elections. By the way, I do have a dishwasher, but I don't feel like unloading it. So instead, I'm just going to wash these dishes by hand. That's how we work around here. So, anyhow, so yesterday felt like the longest day ever on record. Now, normally when my kids are in school, I wish it would go a little slower because my days usually zip by. But for some odd reason yesterday, the day just went by so slow. I literally thought it was like 9:30 in the morning, and I thought it was like 12:30, and I was getting ready for, to get, get the kids lunch. That's the time I really thought it was. It was crazy. All day. It was 12:30 and I thought it was 5. I think it's the time change, the season. We're getting a little bit colder weather here in Western Mass. It definitely is, I don't know, things are changing. My husband and I had a great day together on Monday. He had the day off, the kids had school. They have next Monday off and he does too. I'm getting some really good deals coming through for military families. Kohl's is having 30% off. Ocean State Job Lot, I don't know if you guys have one of those, they're having 25% off your whole order, which is fantastic. So I think I'm going to plan on doing some Christmas shopping. I know Amazon has something, but it's actually only, Amazon is actually only, instead of being $120 for a membership, it's $79. Now I could go ahead and renew mine. I just renewed mine in August. But if I wanted to, I could renew it at the discounted rate it says on the stipulations to this. But I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't think I will. The membership's in my name, and so I'd have to change it into my husband's name because he's the military member, and they're not offering this to dependents or sponsors or things like that. So I think I'm probably just going to use that money for Christmas shopping. So I am trying to be diligent this year with buying good gifts, not wasting my money. I have, and this is actually where maybe some of you guys have some ideas. So I have my 4 kids at home, 11, 10, 8, and 5. I have my niece who is 12. I have my oldest son and his wife. He just turned 29 and she's 39, and she's due for her first baby the end of March. And I have my daughter who is 25 and her boyfriend. And they have 2 dogs, which I posted on my Facebook yesterday. The doggies came to visit. So my niece gave me a list of like 30 things that she wants for Christmas. And so, you know, some of them are like, she's not going to get it. Like a Celtics tickets to go see the Boston Celtics play a game. Jordans, you know, sneakers, Jordans, jerseys, things of that nature that are like, you know, each thing is like $100 to $200. And that, yeah, no, definitely not. At first I was like, wow, that's a crazy list. But my sister-in-law reminded me that she probably in the past hasn't made a list. And if she did, she probably didn't get anything on it. So I'm going to do my best to, you know, make her a great Christmas this year. She should still be with us, I'm assuming. She sees her mom today. Today is Wednesday. And she sees her on Wednesdays. I did ask if it could be switched to Friday because Thursdays when she goes into school, she is a little bit off, more than usual. But I do have her, I did start medication for her last week. I think she had the whole full week last week on her new medication for ADHD. It seems like it's working. Time will tell for sure. I haven't gotten a call from the school today or Monday. So, yeah, so anyhow, so I think I'm going to try to do most of my Christmas shopping online and probably at those retailers that I mentioned. I'm not quite sure, like, what to get my daughter and my son, the older one. the older two. I think my daughter and her boyfriend, I'll get them probably gifts together, like maybe to go out to eat and things like that, maybe movie tickets. And then I do make, you know, go more all out for the stockings. And so I did add to our stockings this year my daughter's boyfriend and then their two dogs. So when I do hang the stockings, they'll have their personalized stocking. So I'm sure that I'll get little personal trinket type, you know, candies and things like that. What else? Yeah, my son and my daughter-in-law, I will probably get a gift together as well, and then a couple of gifts extra on the side. Maybe I can get her a nice prenatal massage. But a side note, I don't know if anybody has gone through this. So it's their first baby. She is older. She just turned 39, so she's 10 years older than my son. And it's their first baby. And they told us that they were expecting around 10 weeks. And they, of course, said to keep it a secret from Facebook and things. So I have not said anything. I've told my close friends recently, because she's already almost 20 weeks. And for some reason, we're not allowed to talk about it. Like, not that we're not allowed to talk about it, but we're not allowed to make it public still. She's never made it public herself. I do know she did just pass her boards for her to be a pharmacist, and so she is a pharmacist now. She passed everything, but and then she did tell her employer, so I know that was one of the big things that she was not wanting to get out before she told her employer. And then she took a test because of her age. It's called Harmony. And it's an elective test. You don't have to take it, but I had taken it with a couple of my kids. And so basically, it measures whether or not, like when I had my son so many years ago, the test would measure, they would do a nuchal fold test, the back of the neck on an ultrasound, and if it seemed like it had fluid, then it could be signs of Down syndrome, but they never gave you a definitive answer. Well, now with this Harmony test, it's a blood test. They do it about between 10 and 13 weeks, or 11 and 13 weeks. And basically, in the bloodstream, it will tell you whether or not the baby is 100% healthy or if there's a defect. There's no more guessing, which I think is fantastic. And then, but at the same time, they tell you the gender if you want to know, because it measures it in your bloodstream. And if it's a boy, it has the chromosomes for a boy in your bloodstream. And so she wanted to know what it was, but at 10 weeks, when she first told us, she told us that she would get the call from the doctor, instruct the doctor to only tell me, and I would go ahead and design a cake or whatever it is. I wouldn't tell anybody if it was a boy or a girl, and that's it. We'd go on from there. But for some odd reason, 10 weeks have passed. She got the results, and she's telling me, and my son's telling me, that they have not looked at the results of the gender, but that they know the baby is healthy. So I don't know. I think the whole thing is weird. I'm having a really hard time as a first-time grandparent to even bond with the baby, because there's no talk of the baby. My son calls me once in a great while. There's really no talk of anything. They kind of have their own life. She lives with her mom. I mean, they both live with her mom. Her mom has a really big farm type house. They have horses, ton of horses. So my son is always, working. He's in pharmacy as well. And so I don't know. I don't really know what to think of it. I don't want to push the issue. I have sent numerous texts between all three of us, hey, how are you feeling? She told me about a week and a half ago that she finally had some energy. I asked in a group text with me and my son and her, I said, I said, hey, I'm waiting. You know, I said something funny like, you know, I'm waiting for my cupcake, pink or blue. And apparently, you know, they're like, oh, you know, my son's like, oh, well, we don't, you know, we haven't looked yet, or yada, yada. We're waiting to see what we want to do for a gender reveal. And so I said to him, I said, you realize that you guys are having an ultrasound, and like, this was like 3 weeks ago. I said, you realize you guys are going to have like an ultrasound, 20-week ultrasound, like you're going to know anyways, even though you have it sitting in your email. And he says, yeah, I know. And that was it. It was just weird. And then there was one other email that I found kind of funny, which is, I said, my son's name is Ethan. He's 8. And so I said, oh, I said, Ethan told me today that it's a boy. And I said, and so I'm going with boy. And my daughter-in-law texts back, it's a girl, LOL. And I said, you know? And my son wrote back, that's her guess. But that's odd to me. Like, listen, if you guys don't know, I really wanted to be a detective or a police officer. My dad was a police officer. My uncle was the chief of police. His brother, my other uncle, was was a detective. My cousin's a police officer now, and yada, 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 yada. And so, listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to have a clue that she must have peaked. And so I don't know. I don't know if it's true or if it's not. I don't know if she's in a depression. I do know because of her age, they were hoping that this one was a boy. It's my son's last. He's the only boy on my ex-husband's side to keep the last name going. So of course he's feeling a lot of pressure from that, you know, and you know, with her age, this is probably going to be the only one. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys have any ideas. Shoot them to me, but I'm struggling. I really am. I'm struggling a lot with not being able to bond with the baby, not being able to go shopping for the baby, not having that communication with them, and I don't know why. Like I don't get the whole. I don't know. It's just weird. So that's that. And my husband's doing well. We're still praying. If you guys could join in prayer with me for my husband to get a position on base called AGR, Active Guard Reserve. That is what I've been praying for now for a year and a half actually. I have prayed for that since he got into the military, May of 2018. So if you could, you know, pray with me, that would be great. He is going to have some kind of deployment, TDY, whatever it is, training, coming up next year. We're not sure where it's going to be, if it's going to be local or not. You know, they're going to be very active because it is an election year, and he maintains the fighter jets, which of course are the first to get into the air if there's a need for them while the president is campaigning, or if anybody's really campaigning. If anything happens, you know, they're the first to go up. They have a, you know, I don't want to give out too much information about them because I'm not sure what is good to give and not, so I'm just going to leave it like that. They have a certain amount of time to get up in the air, and they need to be maintained, and so he is an engine maintainer for those, for the F-15 fighter jets. They are powerful planes. They are amazing. They actually, when we see them go up, this is how they take off. They take off like this, and then all of a sudden it's just straight up like a rocket. Very loud. We love them. I love them. I've lived near an Air Force base my whole life. When I was little, it was an Army and Air Force base. Very active. Now they maintain a lot of the C-5 cargo planes. And my husband is about 20-25 minutes from here at his base, which is a National Guard base, and they have all the F-15s and fighter jets and yada yada yada. So yeah, so that's that. I'm definitely still trying to get a hold of my eating. Sorry, I had to do that. And yeah, it's definitely a work in progress. I don't know. Got to get a hold of it. But anyways, I've talked your ear off enough. I hope you enjoyed my steak cooking and cleaning and chit-chatting. And please leave me a comment below. And please, I'm trying to get more followers. I want people to follow me. If you guys can share it, if you guys can ask your friends to come over and see it, if you can give me a thumbs up and a like and subscribe and all that jazz, I'd be appreciative. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.